Hello students, welcome to Power Tutorials. So today we will continue our chapter, which is some applications of trigonometry, chapter 9 of class 10 maths, NCERT class 10 maths. So today in this part we'll cover questions that is starting from 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So if you're coming due to this video, suggest to check part 1, 2, 3 and 4 where I covered all the topics, introduction, example questions and even all the remaining exercise questions, that is from 1 to 9. So in this video, let's start with the question number 10. The question number 10, what it is saying, it has it. So we have two poles of equal heights are standing opposite to each other on either side of the road, which is 80 meters wide. From a point between them on the road, the angle of elevation of the top of poles is 60 and 30 respectively. Find the height of the poles and the distance of the points from the poles. So for this, let us understand with respect to normal diagram. So they're saying that two poles. So we have two poles here. Suppose this is pole 1 and this is pole 2, and these are on the road. They're saying that equal heights. So this pole height, if I suppose it is h, then the other pole height is also h. So we have two poles, suppose P1 and P2. Okay, the angle of elevation to the top of pole, okay, from a point between them on the road. Let's suppose this is a point. Okay, let's suppose this is x as a point. Okay, from a point between them on the road. Okay, they also mentioned the road length is 80 meters. Okay, so point between them, the angle of poles are, first one is 60, other is 30. So this angle is 60 degrees. Same way the from this point to the other pole is 30 degrees. They're asking find the height of the pole, they're asking find the h, and also between the distance of points from the poles, like this distance as well as suppose x1 and also this distance x2. Okay, so let's draw with respect to triangles and solve this question. So we have two poles. So let's suppose this is pole 1 and suppose this is pole 2. These are of equal height, so it should be same length. And suppose the total is 80 here, 80 meters. Let's mark this as a point. Okay, because first is 60, so this has to be steeper when compared to the other one. This has to be longer because the angle is shorter. So angle is shorter, the distance is more. So this is 30 here and this is 60 degrees. The height is same because the poles clearly mention the heights are same. So this is h, then this will also be h. Let's mark points to distinguish properly. So let's suppose AB is pole 1 and CD is pole 2, and let's suppose this point as suppose P. Okay, so as this is total is 80, I will assume this as x, so that other will become 80 minus x. So let's start the solution. I'm assume distance between pole 1 and point on road is equal to x. So distance between point and pole 2, now it will become 80 minus x because the total length is 80. So distance between point and pole 2 will become 80 minus x. Why? Because as I mentioned, the total is 80. Okay, so let's solve the triangles and use the trigonometry, which is tan theta here. So if I take for ABP triangle, so let's draw a line. Let's draw two triangles, triangle ABP. So for triangle ABP, I can use tan 60 is equal to opposite is h, adjacent is x. What is tan 60? Tan 60 is root 3 is equal to h by x. So we got one relation between h and x, which is h is equal to x root 3 meters. Okay, let's take another triangle, which is this one. So in this triangle it is PCD. Triangle PCD, if I take, then the tan 30 will become h by 80 minus x. Tan 30 is equal to h by 80 minus x. So what is tan 30? Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. So 1 by root 3 is equal to h by 80 minus x. So if I do cross multiplication, I will get 80 minus x is equal to h root 3. What is h value? H I can write it as x root 3. So this becomes 80 minus x is equal to x root 3 into root 3, I'm continuing in this part. 80 minus x now becomes, what is root 3 into root 3? Root 3 into root 3 becomes 3. So this is 3x. So 80 will become, if I move x to the right side, becomes 3x plus x. So I can say that 4x is equal to 80 or x is equal to 20. So the distance from pole 1 to the point is x. So x we got it as 20, then 80 minus x becomes 60. So this is 20 we got from pole 1 to point, and this one become 80 minus 20, which is 60. Okay, so let's write the h values. So height we got it as x root 3. So now the height will become 20 into it will become 20 into, that is root 3, so 20 into root 3 meters. Okay, so I'll just write in theory. So therefore we got height of each pole root 3 meters, distance from pole 1 to point is x in our assumption. So x is equal to, we got 20 meters, whereas the same way distance from pole 2 to point will become 80 minus x, which is 80 minus 20, which is 60. Okay, hope all three are solved. Let's go to the 11th question. So 11th question is, a TV tower stands vertical on the bank of the canal. So this is a TV tower which is standing on the bank on canal from a point on the other side of the bank. So this is a bank of canal. Okay, some point on other side. The angle of elevation to the top of the tower is 60. So from here the angle of elevation is 60. From another point 20 meters away from this point, line joining this point to the foot of tower, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is, now the angle is 30 from another point which is on the same line from the height of the tower, and also they are asking the width of the canal. So hope this diagram is already understood. So let's have directly go to the second diagram, which is the triangle diagram. So this is like this. Now we have one tower, we have a bank of river, so let's make it as x. From here we have another point which is 20 meters away. From here the angle is 30, whereas from this point, the bank of the river, the angle is 60 degrees. So let's assume this as h. Let's mark the points E, B, C and D. So as usual I will start with small triangle first. So for triangle ACD, tan 60 will become opposite by adjacent side, opposite is h, by adjacent is x. So h becomes, tan 60 is root 3, so x into root 3 meters. So here you can write, assume bank, that is river bank, width as x meters. Okay, now take the big triangle is A, B, D. If you take this triangle, then the again tan theta, because it is again opposite by adjacent side, so tan 30 will become h by total length, it is 20 plus x. Okay, what is tan 30 value? Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 is equal to h by 20 plus x. So if I do cross multiplication, I can say it is 20 plus x is equal to h root 3. So what is x value? X is h root 3. So just replace h as x root 3. So 20 plus x will become x root 3 into root 3, which is 3x. So 20 plus 20 is equal to 3x minus x, which is 2x. So 20 is equal to 3x minus x, 20 is equal to 2x. So I can say x is equal to 10 meters. That is, river bank width is 10 meters. So height of tower we got, which is x root 3. So height of tower is equal to x root 3. So which is 10 root 3 meters. So river bank is 10 meters, whereas height of tower is x root 3, which is 10 root 3 meters. Got it? So let's go to the 12th question. From the top of a 7-meter high building, the angle of elevation to the top of a cable tower is 60 and the angle of depression to its foot is 45. Determine the height of tower. So for this question we have two things. One is 7-meter height building, so we have a building which is 7 meters height. Let's suppose this is a building here which is 7 meters height, and we have a tower. We don't know the height of tower. Let's assume this has tower here. So this is the tower, what they are saying. So let's suppose it's on the same ground. The angle of elevation to the top of cable tower is 60. So from here they are saying that angle of elevation to the top of tower is 60. So this is, if I say this is horizontal, then this is 60. Okay. The second one, the angle of depression to its foot, from this to foot of the tower. So this is 45 because it's angle of depression. But as we know, for parallel lines, if we know this angle, we can write this angle due to alternate angles concept. Same way, if this is 45, I can say this is 45. Okay, so this is angle of depression, this angle. But as I mentioned, for parallel lines concept, if I know this angle, I can write this angle because these two are alternate angles. This is 45, this is also 45. Okay, so now let's write with respect to triangles and solve this question. So I will write this as a building. This is the tower. We just found that from here this angle is 45, so I'll just write it. In the same way, suppose this is horizontal, and from this top of the building to the top of tower, the angle is 60 degrees. This is 60. Height of building they have mentioned it is 7. Anything else? That's it. So what you have to find? You have to find the height of tower. So you have to find the total h. So before that, this is 7, so obviously this will be 7. This will be 7, correct? So we have, let's assume this as x. Then height of tower becomes 7 plus x. Correct? So let's mark it the points. This is A, B, C, D, and this is E. So if we take the small triangle first, I mean this one, that is triangle ABC. If I consider triangle ABC, then if I use tan theta, that is tan 45, becomes opposite side is 7, that is AB by BC. Tan 45 value is 1, so 1 is equal to 7 by BC. So BC value we can say it is 7 meters. So now I got BC value as 7. If this is 7, obviously this value, that is AD, is also equal to BC, which is also 7 meters. So we also got the horizontal line which is 7. Now take this triangle. Let me change the color. I was supposed to take the top triangle, which is this one, red one. Okay, if I take this triangle, triangle ADE, so here if I use tan theta, it is tan 60. Tan 60 is the opposite side is only x here, so again x by the the adjacent side is 7. So what is tan 60? Tan 60 is root 3. Root 3 is equal to x by 7. So implies x is equal to 7 root 3 meters. So we got BC value, which is this value already know 7. So we also got the x value, which is 7 root 3. So the total height of the tower will be, total height is equal to 7 plus x, which is 7 plus 7 root 3. So I can write this as 7 into root 3 plus 1 meters. Okay, let's go to the next question. Question number 13. So as observed from the top of 75-meter lighthouse from sea level, the angle of depression of two ships they have mentioned. One ship is exactly behind the other on the same side of the lighthouse. Find the distance between the two ships. So this is, I think, hope everyone knows what is a lighthouse. So lighthouse is the one from which will supply a light to the ships which are present on the seashore. So this will be a lighthouse which is on the shore. Okay, so this is a lighthouse here which is having light, and this is a sea. So on the sea, let's suppose this is on the same line. Let's mark one same line here. And what they are saying, The angles of depression two ships. So let's suppose this is ship 1 here, and we have another ship which is here, because they are on the same side of the lighthouse. Okay, the larger the distance, smaller the angle. So this angle will be 45 for ship 1, whereas a ship 2 it should be 30 degrees because the distance is more. So why I wrote also I'll just mention, because again I use the alternate angles concept. So this angle is 30, whereas this angle is 45. So just use the parallel angles concept. I found that this angle is 45, this angle is 30. Okay, so let's try with respect to triangle. If anything is mentioned, okay, lighthouse height is 75. This they have mentioned 75. Anything else? Okay, they just want to find the distance between two ships. They are asking this distance, what is the value? Okay. So let's solve this using triangles concept. So this is the line, that is lighthouse. This is ship 1 and this is ship 2. Let's draw the lines. A, B, C and D. So this is 45 and 30. This is 45. To ship 2 it is 30. Lighthouse is 75 meters. So this is 75. Okay. So let's assume this as X and this as Y. Okay. So let's take the first triangle, which is ABC. Because I always say I prefer first the small triangle. So this is small triangle here, ABC triangle. So here tan 45. Tan 45, I can say that opposite by adjacent. Opposite is 75. Adjacent is, we are assuming it as Y. Or tan 45 value is 1. 1 is equal to 75 by Y. So implies we got Y value, which is 75 meters. So this is 75. Now take the big triangle, which is ABD. So here the tan 30 degrees. Opposite is again same 75, but the adjacent is different because 75 plus x, no, because y plus x. So I'm directly writing it as 75 plus x. Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 is equal to 75 by 75 plus x. Just write the step again. 1 by root 3 is equal to 75 by 75 plus x. So if I do cross multiplication, this becomes 75 plus x is equal to 75 root 3. So I can say x is equal to, if I move 75 to the right side, it becomes 75 into root 3 minus 1 meters. Okay. So in this way I got, therefore, distance between two ships is equal to 75 into root 3 minus 1 meters. Okay. Let's go to the 14th question. So in the 14th question, 1.2 meter tall girl spots a balloon moving with the wind with the horizontal line at an height of 88.2 meters. Above from the ground, and the angle of elevation to the balloon from the eye at an instant is 60, but after some time it is moving to 30 degrees because the distance is increasing from the distance traveled by the balloon during this interval. Okay, so hope everyone, what is the question they are asked? They are saying that this is the girl height. So girl height is 1.2 meters. From the eye, if she sees the balloon, it is 60 for this instant, and once that balloon moves to the other side, it becomes 30. So in this way, the height of this balloon from the ground, they are saying that it is 88.2 meters. So let's see the diagram now. So here I will just try with the help of triangle. So this is girl height, which is 1.2 meters. From here, if she sees the balloon first position, that is, let's say P1, in the first position, what is the angle? 60 degrees. So let's write it as 60. In the second position, let's say this is P2. So in the second position the angle is decreased because the distance got increased. Now the angle is 30 degrees. This angle is 30. They mentioned the total height from the ground is 88.2 meters. So if I have to subtract the length of girl to get this height, so now this height becomes 88.2 minus 1.2, which is 87 meters. Okay, I'll just mark ABCDs. This is E, B is a girl. If I assume that this is CD, and let's suppose this as EF, and suppose this as G. Okay, CG will be equal to E. Okay, let's mark this as H. Okay, CG will be equal to EH because it is just a height of balloon. Height of balloon is constant, but it's just moving in the horizontal plane. Okay, so let's start again with the small triangle, which is APG as of now. Okay, this is mention it as C. So ACG triangle, ACG, if I take into consideration, then tan 30, sorry, the angle is 60 here, tan 60 I have to take. So what is tan theta? Tan theta is opposite by adjacent. So tan 60 is adjacent is CG here. So CG, yes, we know, which is 87 meters. 87 by this value we don't know. Okay, let's write this as X and this as Y. Okay, because we don't know both the values. So this is X now. So what is tan 60? Tan 60 is root 3. Root 3 is equal to 87 by X. So I can say X is equal to 87 by root 3 meters. So I got the distance from lighthouse to first ship as 87 by 3 meters. Let's find the distance from the second triangle so that you can get the X plus Y value. So if I take triangle AEH, if I take triangle AEH, then tan theta, that is tan 30 now. Tan 30 is equal to opposite here is 87 by adjacent is X plus Y. Okay, let's write it X plus Y here itself. The what is tan 30? Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 is equal to 87 by X plus Y. So if I cross multiply, I will get X plus Y is equal to 87 root 3 meters. So what is X value I have? It is 87 by root 3. So let's substitute that. 87 by root 3 plus Y is equal to 87 root 3. So I can say Y is equal to 87 into root 3 minus 87 by root 3. So if I do LCM, this becomes 87 root 3 into root 3 becomes 3 minus 87 by root 3. So I can say Y value is equal to 87 into 2 by root 3. So just rationalize it. This becomes 87 into 2 into root 3 by root 3 into root 3 becomes 3. 3 ones. 3 2s are 6, 3 9s are 27. So Y is equal to 58 root 3 meters. That is distance between two ships. I got it as 58 root 3 meters. That was the same in the question. There was what is the distance? Okay, not this. Yes, what is the distance traveled by the balloon during this interval? So this is asking the distance traveled between these two, which we assumed it as Y. So the distance between the first point and second point will be 58 root 3 meters. Let's go to the next question. 15th one, that is last question. A straight highway leads to the foot of a tower. So they're saying that we have a highway which is leading to foot of tower. So let's assume this is tower here. Okay, a man standing on the top of the tower. So here there is a man. Observes a car at an angle of depression 30. So seeing that he has here there is a car, and from here the angle of depression is 30. So if I take with respect to horizontal, this angle is 30. While approaching to the foot of the tower with uniform speed, 6 seconds later the angle of depression of the car is found to be 60. So after 6 seconds the car might have reached suppose this point, then here the angle of depression is 60. Okay, find the time taken the car to reach the foot of 4 from this point. They are asking from here to here what is the time taken. So before time taken, let us find out what is the distance here and what is the distance here. suppose this is d1 and suppose this is d2. So based upon the time we can understand if for this distance 6 seconds it is taken, then this distance how much time it will take. Okay, so let's find out using our heights and distance concept. Let's find out d1 and d2 and what is the relation between them. Then we can find out the time taken responsibility. Okay, so using alternate angles I can say this is 30 now and this is 60 because it is just alternate angles concept. So let's draw with respect to triangle and solve this question. This is high wing. Let's suppose this is point 1, this is point 2. We have a tower. Let's write it a straight line. This we just found it is how much? 60 degrees, and this is 30. We're assuming this as d1 and this as d2. Height of the tower, okay, this also they haven't mentioned. Okay, let's assume this as h. Let's mark the points A, B, C and D. So let's take first triangle A. Okay, let's take the small triangle only, BCD. If we consider triangle BCD, then tan 60 is equal to height is h by d2. I can say now tan 60 is how much? Root 3. Root 3 is equal to h by d2. So d2 I can say it is h by root 3. I got d2 distance which is h by root 3. Let's take the big triangle now, which is ACD. If we consider triangle ACD, the angle is 30 degrees, so it is tan 30. Tan 30 is height of building tower, it is set it as h by the bottom it is d1 plus d2. Okay, let's write d1 plus d2 again. So tan 30 is 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 is equal to h by d1 plus d2. So if I do cross multiplication, I can say d1 plus d2 now becomes h root 3 meters. But what I know, what is d2 value I know here. So what is d2? d2 is h by root 3. So let's substitute d2 as h by root 3 here. d1 plus h by root 3 is equal to h root 3. So if I move h by root to the other side, becomes h root 3 minus h by root 3. If I take LCM, it becomes h root 3 into root 3 becomes 3h minus h by root 3. So I can say the d1 value I got it as 2h by root 3. So let's suppose this is 2 and the other as 1. So let's write both together. d1 I got it as 2h by root 3. d1 is 2h by root 3, whereas d2 is h by root 3. So what I can conclude, d1 is twice of d2. Okay, so or else simply I can say d2 is half of d1. So here what they said, to cover d1 it is taking 6 seconds. To cover d1 it is taking 6 seconds. So to cover d2, what it will be, simply it will be half of the time, like it will be 6 by 2, which will be equal to 3 seconds. Because it is same velocity. So we know, well, speed or velocity is equal to distance by time. If distance is decreasing, time will also decrease because the speed will have to maintain. So simply if they want to travel for suppose 5 meters, if it is taking 3 seconds, then 2.5 meters will take half of it, that is 1.5 seconds. Same way here, distance of d1 it is taking 6 seconds, then half of it, d2 it will take 6 by 2, which is 3 seconds. Okay, so hope in this way all the questions are done. So if you have any doubts with respect to any question which is explained in this part or in the previous parts, kindly mention in the chat section so that I can check and answer it respectively. So in the next video we'll start at least a new chapter of science, which is magnetic effects of electric current. Thank you so much.